Hello, peoples of the internet. Thank you for waiting. This has been a long time coming, I know. I really need to do more TerraGenesis, and that is exactly what I am going to try and do. I'm. It's. It is a little bit difficult to get set up and to actually block out about an hour at a time to do these episodes, but my schedule is finally becoming such that I will be able to do exactly that. So look forward to a lot more TerraGenesis coming up. Now, let's go ahead and unpause the game. And we are back, everybody. Now, we have a priority, as you can see, which is to increase oxygen. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we actually should have quite a bit of oxygen generating capabilities. Now I'm considering getting the kelp farm, which is going to put a lot of oxygen into our atmosphere rather quickly at the cost of 10 pressure per farm. Now, just to make sure that that's actually a good idea, let's go over and look at the pressure screen. We are currently going at a rate of 74 pascals per minute, and we are still quite a ways away from our goal of 100,000 pascals at sea level. Pardon the misclick there. Oh, actually, let's go back here. Look at this. Look at this, everybody. As soon as I in control of what part of the planet we're looking at. Oh, I think it's inverted. Anyways, look at that. You see that? You see that large splotch of light right around here? Oh, we've got an incoming transmission. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. We've got more economic working togetherness. We've detected a transmission from a ship en route to Mars that consists of a short video. All right, let's go ahead and do that. I think we could use a bit of a boost to those right now, so I'll see you after the... And we're back, everybody. Thank you for bearing with me. With us, I should say. And the other thing that I saw, which I think it might be coming right on the horizon here. No. I think... Yeah, right here. Look at this. Look at this. There's actually water on the surface of Mars, and it's liquid. It's right there. Look at that. Look at all the progress we're making. There used to be not any water at all, and now there's millions of gallons of it. We're really making some amazing progress. Now let's go back to our research tab really fast and see what we have in terms of pressure production. Okay, so we can get a pocket mine, or we can get the kelp farm. And seeing as we now have a level 10 hab unit in Wandermere. Awesome. Okay, but seeing as oxygen is our first priority, let's go ahead and get that being researched. Our mining revenue by 200% for an hour. We just did that. Thank you very much, game. Yeah, so again, pardon the misclick. Let's go ahead and see how long we've got. 4.5 hours and some change. Okay, so we clearly have a bit of waiting time. Oh, or we could sink 10 TerraGenesis points into the kelp farm to complete it immediately. I'm not in that big of a hurry, although you might be. And that's totally fine if you want to spend your TerraGenesis or your Genesis points like that. I'm not going to stop you. It's all personal preference. Local Mystique, a hit musical which has been released, which portrays Wandermere as a sexy, vibrant, exciting city full of thrilling adventures and exotic romance. People have begun flocking to Mars in the hope of capturing the stream for themselves, resulting in a minor population boom for Wandermere. Okay, that sounds awesome. Speaking of population booms, let's see how our population is booming. We have a growth rate of 48 people per minute, which seems like a really a really huge amount of people coming in and being born. But if you realize that the time scale of this is such that years pass in minutes, it's actually not that ridiculous to think about. Anyways, we've got some free Genesis points being offered to us at the cost of a commercial. So let's take one more break right here, and I will see you on the other. Thank you for bearing with me. We've got the 2 more Genesis points, so now we have 14. And let's go ahead and just check up on all the other screens. We have a growth rate of 63 millikelvin per minute, and we have roughly 50,000 millikelvin left to go before we've reached our goal. Oh, which a lot of that is being contributed to by the borehole in Zaharov's Wish. Very good to know. We've got 74 pascals per minute of pressure growth. Again, oh, actually, most of this is coming from the Atmogen suite. All right, still got a ways to go there. Roughly 80,000 pascals. Oxygen is growing at a rate of 87 parts per million per minute. We have 16,882 parts per million out of a goal of 210,000 parts per million. The Hab complex level 10 is contributing the vast majority of the parts per million per minute increase. Water is at 131,054 centimeters. So that's roughly 1,310 meters, I believe. No. It's only 131 meters. But still, that is a lot of water that has been put onto the surface of Mars. That's what those large lakes we were seeing are. And it's growing at a pace of 238 centimeters per minute, which essentially means 238 centimeters per year in game time. And we're aiming for 600,000 centimeters of water on the surface. We don't have biomass because we have biospheres enabled. Population we just looked at. And actually we could stand to build a couple more hab units because we're about 3/4 of the way full in terms of our total capacity. And the last screen to look at is the money screen, which, as you can see, our heavy investment into mines and other such things, as well as the incredible industriousness and prosperity of the people themselves, we're raking in an astounding 127,520 credits per real-time minute, which is about 127,520 credits per year. And that doesn't sound like very much when you consider that some countries, particularly the first world countries on Earth, have GDPs in the billions or even in the trillions of dollars, and that's a measurement of how much money is being circulated, how much money is had in total, and that amount divided by the number of people living there. We currently have 2,655,938 credits, and as you can see, it is growing at an astounding pace. So hopefully we won't have to be waiting too much longer to be able to start doing other things in this game. Now let's see what this incoming transmission is all about. a mining revenue boost by 200% for 1 hour at the cost of a commercial. No thank you, game. We've already got that in the bag. The year is 2072 on Mars. We have 8,621 people living on the planet, and there's still not enough oxygen to go around. How about that? Let's go ahead and look at our culture really quickly. Our next culture point is available at 10,000 population. And it looks like we're about halfway to independence. And an easy way to check is to just come to the summary screen right here, and we are indeed at 50% victory. Now, while we're waiting for the kelp farm to finish being researched, which is honestly going to take a couple of episodes at this pace, why don't we come over to the colonies? Let's come over to Wandermere. We've got a hab unit, and we are constructing... Let's see, so hab unit. It's not telling me what this is. That is very, very odd. Oh, wait, hold on. Confirm. Oh. That's an interesting bug. I think I'm going to have to report this to the developer. Pardon me while I take a screenshot. Alright, now that that is properly documented, let's go over to the habitats. I'm really digging this new interface, by the way. This is a really good user experience. Now, not quite to the hab dome, but we can build a hab complex. Let's go ahead and build that. And we can toggle between the different structures, which is really, really useful. I didn't know I needed this until just now, and that is the pinnacle of user design and user experience and interface design, gameplay. It's amazing. I love it. Rich rhenium deposits have been discovered throughout the Wandermere region. Prospectors are already flocking to the site, and we expect it to be a major boost to the local economy. Awesome. Zakharov Swish. Is this another bug developer? I don't know. I'll have to let them know about it. But for the time being, the new interface is amazing. It's good to be back into the swing of things with TerraGenesis. Like I said, I hope to be recording and releasing many more episodes in the very near future. Like I always say, I just realized that every time I record a TerraGenesis video, I tell you that I'm going to be recording a lot more TerraGenesis videos in the future, and to look out for them. And I fear that I might be kind of watering down the potency of my word. But I promise you that I really am trying to be a good host, a good content creator, and to deliver you as much quality content as I can. It's just a little bit different. It's just been a little bit difficult, but like I said, we should be good from here on out, barring any unforeseen emergencies, IRL. Now let's see. A new style of architecture is developing in Wandermere, which emphasizes fashionable lines and open layouts. While it's still in its infancy, this new style is quickly being adopted by local architects and has become heavily associated with Wandermere in the public eye. Oh, which reminds me, let's go over to... Oh, wait. No, we were already there, in Zakharov Swish. I still think it's amazing that there are two completely polar opposite architecture styles that are both quintessential to Zakharov's wish now. There's the brutal architecture style, and there is the... Oh, where is it? I'm sure... Let's see. I think I think it's the artistic architecture style, although I could be completely wrong. No, 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 it was the cozy architecture style. But the artistic architecture style is also pretty polar opposite to the brutal architecture style. We've got a falling star, which can either thicken the atmosphere, or we could allow it to release water and oxygen as it burns up. I think we're going to do the air brake maneuver. We've just increased the oxygen by 1,100 parts per million, and our sea level has risen by an entire 2 meters. That's 6 feet of water, which means there was a lot of water on that meteor. That's incredible. Let's go ahead and take care of this transmission. No, thank you. And now let's just take a moment to watch Mars rotate. There's that colony, there's that outpost, there's a little bit of snow or ice on that mountain. And if we're patient, I bet we can see the bodies of water that have formed on the surface in just a second here. They should be coming over the horizon any moment. Also, I don't know if I'm talking too quietly. Let's see. No, yeah, that the microphone is still picking it up. So actually, let's just go ahead and take a look at the map. Okay, so as we're rotating, this was about it. This was most of the way up the screen. This this snow-capped mountain. So we're going to want to look a little bit further down to try and see these bodies of water that have formed. So you see there's that snow-capped mountain right there, kind of close to the top of the globe. So if you look about at the same level just on the bottom side of the globe, here in just a minute you should be able to see the Martian Great Lakes. And I kind of like that name, but they're not going to be around for too much longer, so I don't know if it'll stick. Oh, let's see what this transmission is. Mining revenue boost by 200% for an hour. We've currently got about 45 minutes remaining. No, thank you. So let's see. I think we missed it because of the transmission. But in just a moment, it should come back up. So let's see. Oh yeah, it's actually all the way down near the bottom of the globe, so it's really hard to see. But if the globe is cut in half, actually cut into quarters, if you cut the globe into quarters in your mind, the lakes are going to be in the very bottom quarter. They're almost completely covered in shadow, but they're there, and they're awesome. So let's just come back over here, look at our research. Let's see. 9 TerraGenesis points. I kind of don't want to make you guys wait for this. So let's go ahead and confirm that. We have 5 left. And in our colonies, let's go over to Wondermere. Building Hab Complex. Okay, so the building being constructed should be available right there, but that is a glitch, I believe. Either way, it's all good in the hood. Let's go ahead and build 1 kelp farm. And actually, the next facility isn't that far off. If you'll see, the population is currently 222, and we need 250 people living here to get another slot. So that is really great. Mining revenue? No, thank you. All right, we've got 2.6 million credits, just about. We've got over 9,000 people living on Mars now. Remember, we started out at about 8,700, which means 300 people or more have been born on Mars since we fired the game up most recently. Now let's just look at the biosphere. I'm not going to make the mistake a second time trying to force an organism onto the planet quite yet. I just wanted to kind of review this. So we've got the terrestrial creatures, and we've got the aquatic creatures. So terrestrial over on the right, and aquatic on the left. And there are four. There are four classes of organism. There are microorganisms on both sides, then plants and algae on terrestrial and aquatic, respectively, herbivores and carnivores. And carnivores are the most biomass dependent of all four classes of creature of organism, while the microorganisms are the least biomass dependent of the creatures, or rather the organisms. Pardon my misspeech. And so you kind of, as you're going forward, we've discovered a massive deposit of silver in Simud Alpha, and that's awesome. Silver is very good. But as you go down the list from top to bottom, from microorganisms to carnivores, that's kind of the order you want to be introducing life onto a new planet. First, the microorganisms to get the soil ready, and then the plants to help get the atmosphere ready and to help pave the way for the herbivores. And once the plants and the herbivores have kind of worked themselves out so that the plants are reproducing at an appropriate rate and the herbivores are doing so as well, then you can introduce some carnivores. And hopefully everything will work out just great, just like it has here back on Earth. And as soon as that kelp farm finishes building, we'll be getting 200 parts per million per minute oxygen growth, which is really fantastic. That'll really speed up our progress towards the 210,000 parts per million target. And as you can see up here, it's got a bit of an explanation for why the goal is the way that it is. We need about 21% oxygen in the atmosphere to survive. Any less and you'll suffocate, and any more and you'll get oxygen toxicity, which many people I don't think know is a thing, but it is. I haven't read up that much on it actually, but I know that it isn't good. From orbit, too little oxygen will make the atmosphere look red, and too much will be yellow, and blue will be just right. So let's take care of this really fast. Another mining revenue pitch. Wow. That's incredible. But if we come up to the view of the planet, you can see, well, you can't really see because Mars is also red. But it's got a bit of an orangish red tint to the atmosphere. Or at least it would if there were any more atmosphere. But our atmosphere is very thin as it is. So there's not really that much that you can see to tell the coloration of the atmosphere. Alright, and we can't really look at the satellite slots because we need a spaceport. And there's not that much we can do in terms of research right now because we really used up all of the less expensive options except for the ones that we don't really need right now. So the question we'll be faced with in just a couple moments here, as you can see we have over 3 million credits now. The question will become, do we go for the spaceport? Do we go for the Habdome, or do we go for the pocket mine? No thank you, we don't need more mining boost quite yet. But if we go for the pocket mine, then we can take care of the pressure problems, and we can take care of a bit more of the oxygen problems, as well as earn even more credits per minute, which, as you all know, my strategy is to get a lot of money in the early game so that when you have nonsense like this, where you need 11 million credits to stop an anti-intellectual message in Wandermere, or when you're trying to build a satellite, you can do that. But we unfortunately have to decline, and I am getting the feeling that it really is an idiocracy down there. I wish I could go down and spread the word, the good word of science myself. But alas, we just do not have enough money to successfully counter that powerfully anti-intellectual message in poor old Wandermere. Speaking of, I wonder if you go to Wandermere, examine, can we, yes, we can view from orbit. It's right there. It's kind of shaped like Australia now that I look at it. It's kind of cool, and it's very near the bottom of the planet, so it's probably going to be extremely cold in the winter time. Poor Wandermere. No wonder their anti-intellectual radio message is so powerful. They're probably inside all the time. But that doesn't matter too much in the long run. Just so long as we can turn around the effects eventually. Now, just looking through the local culture. Oh, we've got 2 trade routes established with Wandermere. And it looks like, yeah, we've got 2 doses of anti-intellectualism in Zakharov's wish. Oh my, oh my. We do have a new space available in Wandermere, though. And saying that gives me exactly the amount of certainty that I need to be able to answer the question I posed just a moment ago in regards to the research. What do we research next? I think what we want to do is research. You know, if we research the spaceport, we'll be hitting a few birds with the same stone, just some not quite as much as others. Actually, yeah, we'd better do the spaceport next. And that, okay. Yeah, it's going to take 4 hours, 48 minutes. So that's going to take a while. But that's alright. We've got all the time in the Martian world, as far as they're concerned. So, while we're waiting for us to collect the rest of the credits, which should only be another minute or 2, let's take a look at the culture tab, and let's plan some things out. So, what our goal here is to be favoring biomass and favor population growth just a little bit, which means once we get the, hold on just a moment. Okay. Once we get the Lagrange Academy in orbit, we're going to probably keep economy and government roughly where they are. We might want to shift just 5% towards plutocracy. But we do want to value financial growth just a little bit, just because research speed isn't a huge factor in this playthrough of Mars. And I think we want to favor biomass a little bit more, so I think eco-policy is good where it is. But, as usual, we're going to be spending every culture point we earn on getting closer to victory. Sound good to everybody? Great. Terrific. We've got 421 people that we're waiting on for the next culture point. But while we're doing that, let's go to the research tab and let's start researching the spaceport because we just got 4 million credits. Alright, and just one more check in the colonies tab, I think. 3 free Genesis points for the cost of a short video. I'll be right back, guys. Please bear with me. Alright, and we are back with 3 more Genesis points than we left with. Now, I'm going to go over to Gorman here really fast. And let's just do a quick scan, going from silver and working our way down. There's some there, there's not there. Not there. No. Because right there is a little bit. And right there too. How much would it cost? 3 Genesis points. We simply do not have enough. Oh yeah. I'm kind of an idiot. I forgot that we just spent most of our credits on research. 2 free Genesis points for another short video. Alright, I'll be right back, guys. Sorry for the interruption. Alright, and now we have 2 more Genesis points. And a little bit, a few more credits, not too terribly much, I'd say. In any case, I think a good stopping point would be after we get a new culture point. So, in just 275 population. And while we're waiting for that, let's just take another moment to appreciate the beauty of our work so far. Alright, I think that's just about enough admiring the planet Mars for right now at least. So let's go back to the main screen. You haven't gotten that many more people over to Mars, but that's totally fine. Things tend to happen very slowly in space exploration. And so that's to be expected. Let's just check up on the progress of the kelp farm. We have 2 hours, 20 minutes remaining on the construction, which is totally fine. And the other thing that we're building, which is a hab complex, has just under an hour left. And that, my friends, is totally fine and 100% awesome. And would you look at that, we have over 9,800 people living on the Martian surface. Now let me just double check what our population growth rate is. It is currently 49 per minute, which means if we're going to wait for 10,000 population, it's going to be just a little bit longer, but something tells me that's totally fine with the majority of my viewership. So it's totally fine with me. We don't quite need a boost to our cultural revenue just yet. Thank you. Alright. Let's go ahead and take a look at how our outposts are performing. So Yoglin is, of course, performing the best, giving us 31,680 credits per minute, which is an enormous amount. Even before I started this channel, I didn't really have that many outposts that produced so well. Then we have Seamood producing 18,144 credits per minute, and Gorman, which is producing 14,188 credits per minute, which are all much appreciated and very much needed. Now, let's go ahead and just find out how much another colony would cost. 10 million credits. Alright. Something tells me we won't quite have that much money anytime in the near future. Especially if we plan on building a satellite or 3, each of which cost about twice that much, if I remember correctly. So this is going to be a really fun home stretch, which we are in the home stretch now. We're halfway through becoming independent, and while our plants and microbes summary stat, our summary page isn't showing that many promising statistics, trust me when I say that it is rather exponential. Once you've gotten things going, things build upon themselves, and you start getting more things more quickly, and it's going to be a really exciting time from here on out. So this is the point in the video where I say, if you want to be here for not only for the home stretch of the Martian mission, which we're currently doing, but also for all the other missions that we're doing, all the way from Mercury to the moons of Jupiter and Saturn to exoplanets like Wonka and all the other TRAPPIST-1 star system planets, and even some randomly generated planets just for fun in the very far future. Then make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way you will know when I upload, or you could just count on my uploads coming every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, with some Saturday uploads mixed in there for good measure. Now we're going to take one more commercial break for the foreseeable episode, so I will be right back, if you'll excuse me. Or not, I guess. I have a suspicion that I made an assumption that there was a commercial attached to those 2 Genesis points, and there just wasn't. So, pardon that. Let's go ahead and apply this culture point to building the road to independence. We are now 55% independent from, I'm assuming, Earth and its culture, which is a terrific step forward. And as you can see, we're now 55% victorious, or 55% independent if you prefer, and that is amazing. And we are apparently making a large amount of headway in the heat department, so let's go ahead and see where that's all coming from. I think we just didn't start anywhere near the bottom of the scale, because of course 0 millikelvin would be absolute zero, and there is nowhere in the universe where it is that cold. In any case, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm going to have to decline that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this video. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Be sure to share it with your friends. I am trying to make this educational as well as entertaining. And also, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you can follow me as I attempt to terraform not only Mars and the other planets in the solar system, but other planets as well. And if you didn't know, I also play Minecraft, I play Subnautica, and I play a few other random games that happen to strike my fancy and or games that are suggested to me by my subscribers. So thank you again so much for watching. And as we pause the game here, I bid you all adieu, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.